We've been doing the movie meetup roundabout tour. And when I was in Salt Lake City doing our movie meetup there, I meet everybody afterwards and talk to everybody. Somebody came up, this young guy, and he asked me a really interesting question. Now, I hate people asking me top 10 things, but he came up and said, I'm just curious, Mr. Campea.
He called you Mr. Campea?
He did. He was like 19, so God bless him.
Good for him. Good manners.
I corrected him and said that's Lord Campea, to which he was embarrassed and then corrected himself.
As he should.
And he said, what do you think are the worst traits of movie YouTube channels right now?
Interesting question.
And I thought, you know what? That's a good question. I mean, it's a field I obviously care very deeply about, and it's not a field that's perfect. And I thought, that's interesting. And I mentioned a couple off the top of my head, and I thought, so that was that. Anyway, rewind to yesterday. Anne asked me a question about something trivial, and I thought I'll just open Google Gemini and ask. And for some reason, the question that kid asked me came back to my head. So I decided just to ask Google Gemini. I said, hey, Gemini, what are the 10 worst things about movie YouTube channels? Or I might have worded it like, what are the 10 most irritating things or trends about movie YouTube channels?
Oh, here it comes.
So I thought instead of trying to create my own list, I thought, you know what? I thought that's very interesting. Let's just go through the things it gave me.
You have plausible deniability.
Yep. But you know what? A couple of these sting me a little bit, and that's okay. So let's go over and take a look at them. And the first couple are ones that actually really irritate me. The first one it gave me was overly exaggerated and misleading thumbnails and titles. This is a widespread problem across many YouTube niches, but it's particularly prevalent in the movie world. You'll see a thumbnail with the creator's shocked or angry face, often with red circles and arrows, and all caps titles like "This movie is a disaster" or "The worst movie ever made." It sounds like when I was talking about War of the Worlds, the Ice Cube movie. Anyway, the video's content often doesn't live up to the sensational titles, and it's a transparent attempt to get a click. All right. I'm also going to I'm going to honestly try to give myself a pass-fail on each one of these. All right. By the way, and obviously I'm biased because I'm me, but I'm going to try to be as objective as I can, give myself a pass-fail. I'm going to give myself a pass on this one because I really do try to just, whatever the story is, that's what the thumbnail is. That's what the title is.
I totally agree with you.
I try. I'm sure I fail here and there, but I do try.
You're not prone to hyperbole on these things.
I try not to be. But I'm human. I'm sure I do from time to time. But yeah, this is one that really does irritate me, especially like when you go to a YouTube channel, like even some good ones, right? And you realize almost every video, every thumbnail they have is of that. And it's like, it kind of loses it. So I get that one. This other one could have been looped in with the first one. The second one reads, headlines and titles teasing without giving topic information. This is a common occurrence in the movie and entertainment niche. If a popular series or film franchise is canceled, a title like fan favorite show canceled is used without telling the audience which show. They require the viewer to click in order to find out what the story actually is.
I hate that.
This one drives me crazy. Like, and again, I'm going to give myself a pass on this one. There are a couple coming up, which I do not. But this one really does drive me crazy, especially because like I read the news feeds of about 40 or 50 outlets, right? And it just initially brings up just the titles. And it drives me crazy. Let's say Harrison Ford has been cast in the new Judd Apatow movie. Iconic actor cast in new comedy. Your headline's supposed to tell me what it is. And I try to make sure I do that. Like whenever I make a title, I try to make sure it's the information. And again, I'm sure I slip on it from time to time, but this is one of the big ones for me, Rob. Like as somebody who goes through the news feeds a lot, this is one that really irritates me a lot. I don't know. What's your thought on that one?
Dude, not only do I hate it, but I hate that you have to sometimes read 5 or 6 paragraphs into the story before the answer is provided.
I just skip through now.
And lately I've noticed that there's a lot of these stories that are ambiguous to get you to click on them, not just entertainment stories, but stories about everything. And I really hate that, because what those outlets are telling me is they don't respect me or my time. And I get angry about it. Maybe not like Hulk angry. It's just annoying, because I'm like you say, I have like 40, 50 different, I read all kinds of things, not just entertainment news, and I want to be able to zip through this stuff. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, why are you wasting my time? And usually those outlets get a block from me, unless it's a larger site that I go to all the time.
Right. Again, I'm sure, like, considering I make about 40 to 50 titles a week, so maybe a couple of hundred a month, a couple of thousand a year, I'm sure I've slipped up on this. I'm sure I have.
Sure,
but it really irritates me when I catch that I did it too.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're a pretty straight shooter when it comes out, especially when you break up the show into segments. You know, you have the show, you can watch the whole show, or I know that there's people that go and just watch the segments. And I think that's a pretty straightforward, honest, you're an honest broker.
Well, we try. Anyway, all right, the third thing up is endless negative commentary and dunking on films. There's a disproportionate amount of movie-related content dedicated to tearing down films, particularly recent blockbusters or widely panned movies. While there's a place for negative reviews, I often say that, the constant stream of hate watch content can become repetitive and cynical. It can feel like creators are simply feeding into a negative feedback loop for easy clicks rather than offering any meaningful or balanced critique. I'm going to give myself I'm going to give 3 rankings: pass, fail, or push. I'm going to give myself a push on this. And the reason I'm going to give myself a push is like, okay, I have a rule for myself. If I don't like a movie, right, I make one video, usually it's review, and say why I don't like the movie. I will not then go on to make 3, 4, 5 videos about why that movie sucks, right? But the reason I don't give myself a pass is because while I won't make another video about it, I will bring it up in other conversations. So like, for example, let's say I hated Morbius, right? So I made a video about how I hated Morbius and I think Morbius is bad. Great. Now I'm not going to make 7 videos about it. But if we're now talking about Tron Ares, I will bring up, now, of course, let's not forget Jared Leto did Morbius and Morbius freaking sucked and blah, blah. But I won't make a new headline out of it. I won't make a new title of it. So I kind of pass, kind of fail on that one. You know me and my philosophy on this, guys. I believe our time on earth is limited. I want to spend it doing things we enjoy and we love. So if there's so like Acolyte, if I wanted to like Acolyte, but at some point I just realized this sucks. Why spend my time watching it when I can spend time watching things I enjoy? And with my channel, if I hate something, I'll mention that I hate it, but I'll try not to make 7 or 8 different videos about it unless new news topics come up. So yeah, again, I'm going to give myself a push. Rob, your thoughts?
Look, I agree with you. I don't want to dislike anything. And I try and keep an open mind. There's only one subject matter that I'll leave nameless right now that I consistently have gone after on multiple occasions, but I have that's special circumstances for me personally. But, movies are so hard to make. And I think that, and I also, if you're going to dunk on a movie, give me some cogent analysis of why you think the movie's bad.
Because it sucks.
Yeah, that is the worst. Anybody who says a movie sucks immediately they're invalidated to me. I hate to say it because that doesn't tell me anything. If you think a movie is bad or it doesn't work for you or you think it sucks, I need to know why you think that, because that's not enough. And I think that the word sucks means you don't know why you dislike something.
Sucks because it's mid.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Sucks and mid. I don't like that. If something's bad, I would like to hear some cogent analysis. Like, for instance, I don't know if you ever watched Red Letter Media's takedowns of the prequel trilogy, but those are hours long, and you know exactly why Mr. Plinkett does not like the prequels. And I found them to be very cogent when I watched them. I'm like, wow, there's a lot of insight here, even though there's a lot of venomous hate, too. But it was entertaining and educational hate, and that, I feel, gives something. But we don't do that on this show. You don't ever do that. You never just come out and say something sucks. You never come out and go.
Yeah, unless I'm saying it because I've already explained it. Like I try to
Well,
do
that's
that.
because
Right, but that's what I mean. But you explain it. You
that's
have
called
analysis.
referencing something. That's just
Yeah,
a reference.
Yeah, you have analysis, and you provide something that I think is food for thought, and that's what YouTube channels are best at. Give me food for thought.
And what's the undertone? The undertone isn't like, and it sucks. And the reason why it sucks is because it's ruining our society. And this is why we have to stop. It's like, calm down.
Well, that is true
By
about
the
Star
way,
Trek.
the word mid is misused.
yeah, it means it's average.
Yeah, like I remember. So mediocre means it's middle of the road.
Yeah.
But I remember I called something mediocre once, and it's like, how dare you say this movie sucks? I'm like, guys. Okay. Anyway, so there's that one. We need to move on, guys. We want to thank the sponsor of today's episode, PrizePicks. Look, you and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right actually means you win. And with football back, there is no better time to get in on the action. You guys know I've been using PrizePicks for a while now, and it's honestly the most fun I've had engaging with the new football season already. For example, this weekend, I had Josh Allen throwing for more than 270 passing yards and Baker Mayfield having more than 2.5 passing touchdowns, and boom, I won on both. Building your lineups on PrizePicks is fast, simple, and honestly extremely fun. All you have to do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections, and if you're right, you win. What's even better is that PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still win even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Plus, they've even got this thing called injury reboots, so if a player goes down in the first half, it won't count against you. And PrizePicks operates in more than 40 states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. So download the app today and use code CAMPEA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CAMPEA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. All right, so that's that one. Next up, I don't know if I get away with this one or not. Stretching videos to 10 plus minutes for ad revenue. The YouTube algorithm often rewards longer videos, so many creators, including movie YouTubers, will needlessly pad out their content. A review or commentary that could be 5 to 7 minutes long is stretched to over 10 minutes with rambling introductions, that might be me, recaps of the plot, and unnecessary filler. This makes the content less efficient and can feel like a waste of the viewer's time. All right. I'm going to give myself a fail on this one, but I want to put the caveat in that I actually actively try to keep our videos as short as we can. I remember once, infamously, I was so determined to shorten our videos, I implemented, and you guys remember this? I implemented a shot clock.
Yeah.
Remember that? I literally when we would start talking about a topic, I would literally put up a shot clock on the screen for a countdown that we would then have to end by the time it was done. I liked it. I thought it was a pretty fun thing to do and would keep the shows zippy and everything. And everybody hated it. I got so much negative backlash from that. They just, oh my God, they hate it so much. So I killed it after one try. I thought it was a great idea.
Wasn't that back in the old place in Burbank?
It was. It was back in Burbank when I was still living there. So I tried the shot clock to keep it low, to keep the time down. So, I mean, I'm guilty in the sense that I'd say maybe half of our segments go over 10 minutes. But I'm innocent in the fact that I don't try to make them be. I don't like having Twitter discussions. I like having real discussions and giving real context, but I do try to shorten it anyway. I don't know, Rob, your thought on Gemini's irritation.
Dude, my entire YouTube channel itself is built on rambling for as many hours as possible, so I have no idea what it means to make an 8 to 10 minute video. That would mean I was a genius. So I can't relate to that at all. My entire existence is all about dragging out my points and beating them into the ground.
You take the term long form to its fullest extent.
Unfortunately, that's not what she said.
All right. Next one that it gives up here, we knew this would be a part of it. This would be on there. Reaction videos with minimal original commentary. This trend involves a creator simply playing a movie trailer or a clip from a film and reacting to it, often with an exaggerated or over-the-top display of emotion. These videos offer little in the way of original analysis or insight and are essentially just re-uploaded content with a face in the corner. It's a low-effort way to generate views by piggybacking on popular releases. Okay, so obviously this is not one I'm guilty of because I don't even do reaction stuff. I have a love-hate relationship with reaction stuff because, you know, hey, listen, I experimented with reaction content. I just realized this isn't for me. I'm not being, I like, because my reactions when I'm watching a trailer are, I mean, that's my real reactions. So I thought that's either a really boring video or I have to act. Wow! Or, you know, stuff like that. So, I mean, so I don't do them. And a lot of reactor stuff does irritate me. But then again, there are reactor guys like Greg and John over at Real Rejects, or the guys over at Day One, Struggle Nation, where they actually give a lot of insight and thought into it. And I actually enjoy that. Like, so that's pretty good. But yes, the reaction thing is a pretty standard staple thing. Like even in movie channels that you wouldn't even think, because the reality, Rob, is reaction videos get clicks.
Yeah.
And
well, because everybody wants to know what someone else thinks about something they like.
I have constantly been told I need to do reaction videos. I've had business people, my own business people, tell me you need to do reaction stuff because that gets close to the popular. It's like, I get it, but it's not me. So I don't do it, even though I know it can get a lot of clicks. So there's some really good stuff. There's some bad stuff. I don't know. What do you think about it, putting this on the list?
Oh, I think it's true. Look, it's not that reaction videos are bad. It's whether or not the commentary in them is good.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and there's
lack thereof.
Or lack thereof. Like there's a girl named Bunny Tail Reacts, and I started watching because she was watching original Star Trek. And I got to say, I hate to admit this, her reviews of the Star Trek movies made me choke up at the end because she loved the film and she had these responses to them. And I found that, and there's other people, I find myself listening to a lot of album reactors now, people who haven't heard certain songs before. And there are certain people that have very interesting things to say. And I find myself drawn to those. You know what,
to your point on that, I shared recently that I went down a rabbit hole on YouTube recently watching vocal coaches doing reactions.
I love those
to K-pop Demon Hunter's Golden song, right? And I went down this rabbit hole, and for a 3-minute song, it's a 20-minute video,
right?
Because they're pausing, saying, "Okay, you have to understand using the diaphragm of blah to hit the A sharp that she hits here is something that about 3% of the population," and they're doing this deep analysis of it.
I love
and
that.
That was brilliant.
Yeah, I always just make a comment. I say that was mid.
Yeah, watch the song. Okay, stop the song. That song sucked. Thanks for joining me. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. All right. We move on to the next one. Culture war, or woke versus anti-woke commentary. A significant number of movie channels have pivoted from genuine film criticism to commentary rooted in political or social issues. They'll frame a review around a culture war narrative, more commonly condemning a movie for being woke or preachy. This approach often ignores the actual quality of the filmmaking and instead serves as a vehicle for a broader political agenda. You know me, I think this is the single most thing destroying movie fandom right now. I think this is the thing that the single most, and it's not the only thing, but there's no other thing that is destroying movie fandom more than this. Like on our channel, like correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think I've ever on this channel said, this movie needs more gay people in it. Or this people needs...
I feel that about most movies, though.
This movie needs more Latinos in it. Or this movie needs more Canadian-Italian representation. Or whatever.
Like the Hulk.
Yeah, like in the Hulk. That's why I give the Hulk such a high score. I just want studios and filmmakers to tell the stories they want to tell. And if they make them with this group of people or that group of people or whatever, great. And I don't have an issue with it either way. But you can see a lot of it out there where it's like the whole thing is about pushing a political agenda. And it's like, I just want to watch a movie and let filmmakers tell the story they want to make. Telling the story of the world through the lens of their eyes, and just tell the story. And if it's good and it's got a lot of people of different lifestyles or different ethnic backgrounds or different whatever, fine. And if it doesn't, fine. Just tell me a story. But man, it is becoming a trend, and it's not just YouTubers, it's bloggers, it's podcasters, and it's not even just in the movie sphere either.
No.
It's all about whether it aligns with their political agenda. And that is something that I think is the biggest destructive force in film fandom today, myself personally. But we've talked a lot about that, so I don't need to spend a lot more time on it. All right. Last one, or not those. This isn't the last one. This is one I'm probably going to fail on. Repetitive and formulaic content. This is a broader YouTube issue, but it is very apparent in the movie space. Many channels find a formula that works and then stick to it rigidly. This can include endless top 10 lists. I don't do endless ones, but I've been known to do a few top 10 lists.
But the thing is, those are immediately compelling.
I try to make them that
people
way,
want to
yeah.
know. I find them. It's. You can say that people do that, but if I like a YouTuber and I like a personality, their top 10 lists, no matter what they are, tell me something about them. You know, you're getting insight into their personality, and you're getting insight to what they like and what they. I find that compelling, and especially if it's somebody that I really like, no matter who, what space or where it's on. I think that's legit, and it is also, yeah, it's a quick way to make content. But in my mind, if you have a good top 10 list, it's worth listening to.
Okay, I just want to bring this up because I remember I was going to say, you know, we recently did a thing like there's a. I'm not trying to dunk on them. Like their Screen Rant, and obviously they got into the news for some pretty negative reasons recently. And I remember we did this thing where we went down their lists, and like if you look at this right now, I just thought, I wonder what they got right now. Okay, open it up. Here's the latest stuff. I only had to get down to the second story that came out 3 minutes ago. Top 10 action-packed animated shows that aren't anime. Get down to the next one that came out 32 minutes ago. 8 Western TV shows with perfect endings.
I really needed 10 on that.
32 minutes ago. 5 DC costumes that are better than the comics. Then 1 hour ago, 5 times DC Comics copied Marvel characters. Then, not one for a while. Then 2 hours ago, top 10 scariest scenes from John Carpenter horror films. So there's 5 of them within the last 2 hours. Then we get another one. 2 hours ago, 10 strongest Demon Slayer demons.
Oh yeah, you just did that one. 4 games leaving Xbox. That's not really a countdown.
10 acclaimed sci-fi series that flopped at the box office. So within the last 4 hours, they've had about 7, 8, or 9.
These are all the things that they put out in the last 3 hours.
Dude, we did.
Yes, this is all just in the last 3 hours.
We did a story on it, and they're pumping out and they're paying their writers like pennies, but
yeah,
they're pumping out just. I don't even know.
We counted over 120 posts that they put out, simply flooding Google's algorithm to get.
It.
Are they making these with AI? Are they having AI voices?
I cannot say because I do not. But anyway, back to the point of the discussion, which is the top 10. Hey, listen, I'm kind of I've been known to put up the odd top 10 ranking, not often, but I do anyway. Also, a regular ranking of a specific franchise. I've done that. I admit I've done that. A predictable review structure that is identical for every single film. I'm sort of guilty of that in the sense that when I do a review, I try to break it into 3 things. First impression, the bad, the things I didn't like, the things I liked overall. And I do kind of follow that formula. I figure I start with, overall, I think of this. Now, here are the things I didn't like about it, blah, 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 blah. Here are the things I liked about it, blah, 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 blah. So overall, blah, blah, blah. So I am a little guilty of being a little bit formulaic in my approach with that. And then it ends off with saying this lack of variation makes the content feel more like a product than a passion project, I should say. All right. The next thing it lists is spoiler warnings or lack thereof. On the one hand, you have channels that will fail to put a spoiler warning at the beginning of a video, then proceed to spend the first 5 to 10 minutes summarizing the entire plot, effectively spoiling the movie. On the other hand, some creators will give a full-blown plot summary of a video titled Review, with no warning at all, ruining the experience for viewers who haven't seen the film. Both extremes show a lack of consideration for the audience's viewing experience. I've got to say, I'm going to give myself a push on this. Because listen, I get a lot of criticism for doing spoilers, but we do a couple things. Number one, we put up our spoiler warning when we know we're about to get into spoilery things. But I think it also comes from the fact that we have different definitions of what a spoiler is. You know, I can say, there's a scene in the movie where Timothée Chalamet and Margot Robbie are having a dinner, and somebody will, you're spoiling it. I'm like, well, that's not a pivotal thing in the movie. I'm just telling you there's a dinner scene in it. So, and, sometimes, and you'll sit, and straight up, I've slipped too. So I'm going to give myself a push. I try to do things to put in roadblocks and warnings, but I do slip sometimes. So on this criticism Gemini gives, I'm going to say I neither pass nor fail. I'm going to give myself on that. All right. This next one, I couldn't believe Gemini put it in, but I'm absolutely guilty of this one. Overly self-referential and inside joke heavy content. While a creator's community is a good thing, some channels become so focused on their own inside jokes, memes, and running gags that it becomes impenetrable for new viewers. The videos are filled with references to past videos, specific phrases, or characters that only long-term subscribers would understand. Bring on the filthy. This creates a barrier to entry that can feel exclusionary. I'm guilty of this. I admit it.
I am too. But I think it does. Look, if you have longtime viewers, you are building. That's how you build a community, because people know these things. Like, look, I fell asleep on a stream. I was on an 8-hour stream once. We were drinking, and when it was over, I was so tired. I just leaned back and completely fell asleep. And I was live sleeping for 5 hours. That happened like 4 years ago.
Sleepwatch.
People have made memes and all that. I will never stop referencing that
I wonder if
because
people,
it's hilarious.
would check back in,
I had all kind of people. The thing was, I apparently didn't move, and that was disconcerting.
Yeah.
Is Rob alive? All right. Then there's this one. I'm actually surprised this one got on the list. Let's play style movie commentary.
Uh-oh.
This trend involves a creator watching a movie for the first time on the screen, often with their webcam feed in the corner and providing a constant stream of commentary. This is different from a well-edited video essay or review. The commentary is often unscripted, rambling, and consists of surface-level observations. Oh, look at that shot. Or, I can't believe he just did that. It's more of a live stream Twitch style format that doesn't translate well into polished, informative video. Now, I don't do this, but I have experimented with it. Like back in the Collider days, we would do these, we would call them movie commentaries. And like, so for example, me, and I think
I've done them with you.
You've been on them with me. I remember this one, me, Ellis, Harloff, and Schnepp did a Man of Steel one and stuff like that. I think there's a place for it. Maybe there are some places that overdo it, but
I think it works best if it's a classic movie that everybody knows.
Yeah.
Like if you sit down with 4 people and talk about Back to the Future, everyone's seen Back to the Future a million times, but it's interesting to hear other people's analysis of it. You know what it is? It's like an audio commentary on a disc, John.
Yeah.
You know, when you have a director talking about a movie that they've made, or you have real film critics who have watched a film 50 times and they know everything about it, like somebody like a Kim Newman or a Tim Lucas doing audio commentaries is fascinating, especially because they've done research before. But if you're watching a movie for the very first time, worthless. Absolutely worthless.
Somebody in the live chat, Stephen Alte, wrote, I can't stand the first time watch videos, and it's clearly not their first time watching.
Horrible.
You can see through those.
That drives me crazy. Like I'll come along across the channel. I'm making a scenario up here. Okay. So if this has any similarity to a video I'm not referencing, I'm making this up off the top of my head. Like I come across a channel where clearly this is a sci-fi movie nut. And it's my first time watching Empire Strikes Back. Fuck you. This is not your first time watching Empire Strikes Back. I mean, so
Today.
In tiny font today.
Death mark's not an easy thing to live with,
That
Bello.
drives me crazy.
You're a good fighter.
Going back to the movie reaction thing, right? I've come across some movie reactions where it's like they watched this trailer about 8 times already. You can totally tell. Like this is clearly not their first time watching the trailer.
Here's the thing. The only people that I believe when they're doing this is if they don't say a word. Their eyes are wide as saucers, and they'll watch the trailer.
That's me and why I stopped doing them.
Yeah,
I'm boring.
and then when it's over, they offer their commentary. But when somebody is talking while they're watching something, I'm like, you're lying. You are lying to me. My whole thing is I want authenticity from you. And if you're going to respond to a trailer, don't say a word. Let me just look in your eyes and see if you respond. If you chuckle.
Look into my
eyes. Little good Canadian Brian Adams there for you.
Yeah.
Listen, you know what I have experimented with? And I
I want to hear this.
When I was in college,
Let me get my drink.
One time
at
band camp.
I experimented with this format, and I don't know if I came up with it or if it was around before. I don't know. But where instead of doing a trailer reaction, I would do, I think what I called it was a trailer breakdown, where I clearly watched the trailer a bunch of times. And then what I would do is, okay, so let's play the trailer. And like we play the first 5 or 10 seconds, stop. Okay, this is what I'm gleaning out of this at this point. We're seeing this and this. Now, I've thought about this, and I think maybe that being in that spot in the trailer here might mean this and blah, blah, blah. We're going to have to kind of really sing. Okay, now let's move on to the next little bit and then play the next 15 seconds. Say, okay, 3 really interesting things jump out at me about this section. Like, so I have watched the trailer several times already, and we do a breakdown.
Yeah.
I think people like that.
But that's honest.
Right.
People know what they're getting. You tune in, you're going to watch it together, we're going to break it down and talk about it. You're not lying to them, and it's authentic.
Yeah. I think the only reason I stopped is because it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
And we do a lot. We work a lot of hours to make the show, but I don't know, maybe I'll go back to trying that sometime. I don't know. Listen, let me ask you guys in the live chat. Are there any other irritating trends that you guys see in that maybe it's one that I do? Like I said, I think I've been guilty of several of these ones that Gemini spit out at me. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that.
Well, next time you should ask Gemini, what are the most annoying things John Campea does on his show?
Oh, by the way, somebody's saying you're basically just doing what New Rockstars does. I did it. I believe I did it before New Rockstars existed. So, and I'm not saying they ripped me off, not at all. But I'm saying I was toying with stuff like that, like even in the movie blog days. So, I mean, I did it long before New Rockstars even
But
existed.
you also don't approach the camera like you're about to crawl through it. So it's a little different stylized.
I feel like asking Grok what are the most annoying things I do.
Oh, God.
On YouTube.
All right.
Sleep for
Guys,
5 hours.
whatever you think about all this, sleep on the stream, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.